Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday. You know I love Thirst Trap Thursdays. Woo! Bars are always a little better. The Tito's taste a little bit better. And I don't know if you know this, but Thursday is the start of the official weekend. For me, we got NFL action tonight. You know, you can always catch it right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM. We got the Rams, 49ers. We're going to start the pregame at 6:30. We're going to kick that John off, and we're going to be gambling. Gambling. I'll give you my picks today at the very end of the show about 12:50. You know what we do at 12:30? I got Hardwood because it just feels so good. Yeah. 12 o'clock, Ole Miss Evie. Going to talk a little bit about Ole Miss football, a little Ole Miss basketball, what's going on, what it do, all these wonderful things. That's going to be 12 o'clock. 11:30, going backwards. 11:30, Isaac Simpson. He's going to join us. We're going to talk everything from the Grizzlies, the NBA Cup, and, of course, your Memphis Tigers, whose next game is at Clemson, which is a big one coming off that loss to Arkansas State. So we're locked, we're loaded, we're ready to rock, we're ready to roll. And you know we got to start with the biggest story in town, and not in our town, in the United States. In college football, it's got to be North Carolina hiring Bill Belichick. Yesterday, I can tell you when the rumors were swirling, I sat here with Bryant Dacus and talked to him about how I just don't know if Bill Belichick is going to attract a bunch of five-star athletes to go to North Carolina. I was like, I don't know if Bill's personality is going to be where I talked about him walking into a living room with his sleeves cut out and his hoodie on, not saying much, if he's going to convince moms and dads that this is the place for him. But on further review, and I will tell you, not just further review, I talked to a buddy of mine who's two-time Super Bowl champ, won a couple with the Giants, not when Bill Belichick was coaching back there in the 80s, but, you know, with Tom Coughlin. Got some big rings, knows a lot about the National Football League, and now coaches in the college game. Talked to a bunch of dudes smarter than me, and, man, I think I've come around to change my opinion. I think Bill Belichick, the hire to North Carolina, which, by the way, if you don't know, is seismic in just the fact that every single talk show on the entire country is talking about it. I mean, like everybody and their grandmother, that's all they're talking about is Chapel Hill, Bill Belichick, former NFL coach, two-time Super Bowl winner when he was with, defensive coordinator, six-time Super Bowl winner he was with the Patriots. And now he is taking over the North Carolina job. Why do I think this is actually going to work? And there's a lot of reasons. By the way, also, Seth Wickersham, just a little sidebar if you want to go a little more in depth. I think he wrote a really interesting article. It's up on ESPN. I read that this morning. Kind of also helped with me talking about Dave to massage the idea that this can work. Because at first I'm thinking 72-year-old man, NFL, stubborn as hell. And Tom Brady ain't going to be in North Carolina. I'm like, how's this going to work? And then you just have to look over at SMU, who's not going to get a dollar for the next 9 years. Who now is in the college football playoff. Listen to Rhett Lashley talk about how shocked he was that the committee actually put SMU in over Alabama since they're not the traditional powerhouse. But it is the ACC. It's not the SEC. It's not the Big Ten. It is the ACC. And if you haven't noticed lately about this ACC team, this whole conference, yes, they do have two teams in, SMU and Clemson. Would they have only got one in if SMU would have won? Yes. But there is that chance that this could be extremely successful. You know, Miami, for as great as Cam Ward was, and how good they played this year, missed out on the playoff because, I don't know if you know, Miami ain't been great since Ray Lewis, Mike Irvin, Ed Reed, all them boys walked through that door. It's been a while since they've had mad success. I mean, Syracuse, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Penn, Boston College, former coach Bill O'Brien, who coached with Bill Belichick. He's over at Boston College. So there is kind of, you can see people going out there and have success, but this is some of the reasons that I believe that Bill will make this work. Now, don't forget, we're giving away two $25 gift cards to the Owner's Box. It's out in Lakeland, one of the best sports bars, period. They got 24 beers on tap, 52 different selections of cans, beers, and seltzers, full bar wine, great food, and they have every single NFL game on, period. Like tonight, you'll see the Rams and the 49ers. On Sunday, you'll see the whole slate. One TV will have every single game on. Of course, Monday night, you party there at the Bears, and during the week, you just go there to get some great cocktails, eat some unbelievable food, and have a lot of fun. So I'm giving those away. How am I going to give them away? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Life's too short for ordinary jewelry. And by the way, Sissy's Log Cabin, can I just tell you also, Simmons Bank and Sissy's Log Cabin are my two favorite people, and BetMGM.
Okay.
Because BetMGM is going to let me use their suite on a Friday night.
Wow.
Simmons Bank let me use their suite both nights for Billy strings. And my favorite place to sit in the world is the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line, free booze, cold side.
That's right.
So I like the finer things in life. So do me a favor. Let me know what you think. Whoever can explain to me why Bill Belichick, or he will work or he won't work. I don't need a dissertation. Just a few words. I'll pick out a couple people. Bing, bang, boom. Text you back. You're going to win $25 gift card to the Owner's Box. Plus, I'm also giving away tickets to the Light Garden. I'll give a 4-pack away. So, not a 4-pack. Is it one ticket per family? Doesn't everybody have to have an individual ticket to get in?
I would think so.
Well, then I'm going to give a family 4-pack.
I'm the wrong person to ask these questions to, John.
Well, guess what? That's
unfortunately.
This is why we have commercial breaks. I'm also going to give somebody tickets to the Light Garden. If it's one for one car, bam, I'll give 4 away. If it's a 4-pack for each person, I got you a 4-pack for your family. But back to Bill Belichick. Let me know why you think it will work, why it won't, and I'm going to give you my reasons I think it's absolutely going to work. So, I was very on the fence. And by the way, I changed my mind like I changed bed sheets.
That's right.
Which is often, baby, because life can be a little messy. But
Gross.
Ben, let me just tell you a little something about Bill. During this whole situation, I'm thinking to myself, yesterday especially, why doesn't he want to go back to the National Football League and win 14 more games and pass the great Don Shula for the most wins in NFL history? He is very aware of his place in NFL lore and history. But with the way the NFL jobs are opening up, you just kind of look over the Chicago Bears. They're probably going to go with an offensive guy for Caleb Williams. He won't work for the New York Jets because him and Woody Johnson, going all the way back to the late 90s before he was an owner, they don't like each other. You look at Jacksonville, Shad Khan, his son Tony Khan, they don't get along, and they are analytics driven, like to the max. So when you look around the National Football League, like where was that perfect job out there? Brian Daboll is probably going to be retained for the Giants. And you remember when we had 7 openings last year, he only interviewed with one team, and that was Atlanta twice, and he wasn't in the top 3. So Bill Belichick's probably got a little something he wants to prove. And then I also found out that Bill Belichick, this was through Seth Wickersham, not my good buddy who played in the NFL. I was reading his article, and he talked about how, did you know, my man walked in with a 400-page book.
Yeah.
Do you know how he got it? Because every single week, you got Matt Patricia. Almost couldn't get it out. He's bringing over Michael Lombardi, who's going to like GM style that John. He had Josh McDaniels. Every single week they talked on Zoom calls. They would go through every single NFL game like they were still working in Foxborough. And then all of a sudden they switched their gears to the college game. Started talking about that, talking about the salaries, the seismic changes that are going on in the game, the schematics of what college football is. And he decided that, you know what? I think the NFL might be exactly where I need to be. Again, my man's got 8 Super Bowl championships. He is a hell of a coach. He is also a guy who took late round talent like Julian Edelman, Richard Seymour. Don't forget, Tom Brady was not Drew Bledsoe. They had Drew Bledsoe for big money. And he turned all these guys who were good athletes, professional players, and he turned them into champions. Now, I know in that documentary, it didn't give a whole lot of Bill Belichick a lot of credit, gave a lot to Kraft and Brady, et cetera, et cetera. But let's be real. Bill Belichick is not like, you remember how Walsh, when he took over the 49ers, it was all about his playbook. Like it's about his playbook. Well, Bill is about basically scheming and changing, and he's malleable. He can beat you in so many different ways. He attacks football teams, each football team different. He's great, unbelievable. Kind of like the way we look at Andy Reid right now. He knows how to win football games, knows when to punt, knows how to coach defense, special teams, offense. He's great at building a team. And he is, again, like I said, extremely malleable. And the other thing about this thing that I absolutely love is not only the people that he's bringing in, not just because he's going to the ACC, but it's because he's got a little something. Like, I think he's got that itch and he wants to scratch it. Now, I do know he's setting up his son, Stephen Belichick, for down the road. Oh, the other one, he didn't want to go to Dallas because Jerry wouldn't want to get it, was going to stay in his business the whole time. So going to North Carolina, getting all the power, I think is going to look great. And a few reasons, or from some of the things that I said, is because he can take a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star recruit and get the best out of them. He wants to make UNC a building block for the National Football League. He's gone through the NIL. He's been studying it. This guy does, he eats, sleeps, drinks football, hangs out with his 24-year-old girlfriend probably 4 minutes a day, and then the rest of the time, he's back to football, and I'm probably giving him an extra 2 minutes. You know what I mean? But if you think about North Carolina, big donors are now going to come in because they're excited. They're going to give him more NIL money. I told you the ACC ain't great. But what he does bring in, the coaches that he brings in, the people with him, he's going to establish a culture. He wants to build teams. He wants to put players in the National Football League. He's come out and he said he wants to do these things. And a lot of people out there say it can't work. And I say, not so fast, my friend. Again, it's not about Bill Walsh's philosophy and a playbook. It's about Bill Belichick and building a culture. And I think he has an opportunity to do that in North Carolina. You saw how fast SMU and Rhett Lashley and these boys got there to the playoffs. But Bill Belichick knows how to coach. He knows how to get the best out of people. We saw Tom Brady just like a couple weeks ago talking about something. It was to the effect of Bill Belichick would say something like, "You want to be a Patriot? We're not sure if we really want you. You know what? I guess we'll bring you on and see if you can play football." You know, like that. He's very just straight to the point, nonchalant. And a lot of people are like, well, these kids aren't pros. Well, they are getting paid now. And if they want to be a pro, you could learn a hell of a lot about pro systems, pro schemes, and how the NFL works. He said he's going to come in there and do nutrition, weightlifting, and programs run just like the NFL. And the fact that he says he is going to not go in there and implement a playbook, he's going to take what he has and get the best out and play and design schemes to beat the other team. I like that. You see people all the time just trying to force, hey, we are 90 miles an hour. Every 20 seconds we're running the play. Josh Heupel, who changed his philosophy a little bit this year, is a little malleable. This is a 72-year-old man, and again, I don't think that all of a sudden there's going to be a 5-star kid right now who's looking at Ohio State or Alabama or Tennessee or Ole Miss, who's like, damn it, I'm going to North Carolina. But a lot of those 4 stars or maybe some of those certain players who's literally laser focused on success are going to be attracted to Bill Belichick and the staff that he's incorporating.
How about this, John? Two things. One, if you want to take a phone call, we have a caller on the line taking advantage of the Sissy's Log Cabin talk line, 901-360-8255. You can also do the same. Second thing, the number one quarterback in the class of 2026 has already come out and said he can't wait to meet Bill Belichick and get on campus.
Damn,
at North Carolina.
boy,
So,
you get a quarterback.
I mean, maybe some guys, but you're absolutely right. And we had a texter that texted in and said the exact same thing about how Bill Belichick, a lot of his success in New England was kind of that continuity of bringing guys in, really hammering in his philosophy, and then year over year as they progress, the team gets better and they have success. Whereas with the transfer portal, very likely you're going to bring in guys, and every single year you're going to have to play that game over and over again. It's going to be hard to find that continuity.
Now, I hear what you're saying with it's going to be difficult to find the continuity. I mean, Deion Sanders has, 45, 50 turnover a year, and he's able to make it work. I do feel like his kind of dudes are the ones that are going to stay in the system, in the program, and be a part of it. I understand the transfer portal. I mean, this doesn't happen in the NFL. You have free agency every freaking year.
Yeah.
Every freaking year. But I think Bill
But
is
it's
built
free
for it.
agency. It's when your deal's up. It's not like college where every single year your deal's up.
Every single year. Oh, my gosh.
Hold on, let's calm down, John. And let's try it again.
Every single year,
Bingo.
he's going to have to rebuild. But I think he's going to bring in just a different style. A player who's – I mean, there are guys out there who do go to school and stay there. Mm-hmm. Still, there's few of them.
Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. There are guys that commit to a school, they go there, and they stay there.
But the other reason I like it, also like the fact that you got somebody like Michael Lombardi who's joining him, who's basically his whole job is to study the transfer portal, to study his team, to deal with salaries. He was a GM. He is going to take his GM skills and put them to best use while Bill does all the coachings. It looks like Josh is going to come. I mean, he's going to bring in a bunch of NFL coaches who know what the hell they're doing. I think North Carolina is going to look a lot different. I was on the fence yesterday. I was kind of like, I don't know if that's going to work. But again, like, look at Nick. I mean, look at what Nick Saban did in college compared to what he did with the pros. It was a lot different. He didn't have as much success in Miami. There's always cases. But, man, like going down to college in this new era and having a 400-page book and doing nothing but studying and bringing in a bunch of smart minds, I think could work especially at North Carolina because, again, it's not Alabama. It's not Tennessee. It's not in the SEC. Mr. Fields, welcome to the program.
What's up, brother?
Not much. What's up? What'd it do, homie?
Man, just sitting here listening to you talk about this whole situation with Belichick, and you've kind of come around. I think it's going to work, and all of the things I've been hearing about, him spending the last year, it's probably spending a lot more time with his son than he's probably ever done before because he's just engrosses himself with the Patriots forever. He's probably enjoying that a lot more, which made him want to do this, which made him want to set his son up for success at a program like this, that he's going to bring that 400-page, complete new organizational structure to the program. He'll set it up like an NFL team, which I think, if this works, he's probably creating the model for a lot of programs moving forward as the college, landscape begins to become more like the NFL. And I think he'll do this for about 3 years, even though it's a 5-year contract. And then he'll find a way to get out and let his son take over.
I agree with you. And again, when you talk about Bill and being adaptable, not only is that, but think about it, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Like you watch the documentary that they put out that was praising Robert Kraft and Tom Brady and basically acted like Bill Belichick didn't have much to do in it. You heard a lot of his former players came out and said it was crazy. I mean, Rob Gronkowski was drafted, I think he had 39 catches his senior year. Early third round, late second round pick. He turned into Gronk. Gronk wasn't Gronk when he got there, but, buddy, he sure as hell turned him around. Julian Edelman, Devin McCourty, Matthew Slater, Dante Hightower. Golly, I mean, there are so many dudes that he got the most out of, and I think he can do this at the college level field, man. Merry Christmas. Tell your fam what up, and I got to figure out how to talk before the show's over.
Hey, can I tell you one more thing real quick?
Sure.
I heard earlier, a lot of people were talking about him sitting in, the living rooms of recruits and everything. Deion Sanders has not sat in one living room. Why would Belichick have to? Kids will come to Belichick.
Damn good point. Thank you for that, Fields. And again, after the way he left the Patriots, I think there's a chip on Bill's shoulder. And when you got Bill Belichick with all that football knowledge, I mean, my man's been coaching since 1975.
Well, that's a great point that he made, and it was one that I was going to bring up. Is I hear everybody talking about, Bill Belichick's not going to like to go down to middle of nowhere Alabama to recruit for North Carolina. He's not going into any houses.
Nope.
Bill Belichick, you're coming to Bill Belichick. All those assistants are going to go out and meet with those players and say, hey, you want to go meet with Bill Belichick? And then he'll do the when they're on campus recruits.
I'm right there with you. I think, I didn't even, until Matt said that, until you brought that up. You're right. Bill ain't going to be going down to Frisco, Texas, where the Tigers are going, and, sitting in a person's living room.
He's not coming to Memphis, Tennessee to watch, White Station and Christian Brothers. He's, they're going to come to him.
I
no offense to those
listened
programs.
to Rhett Lashley the other day talking about SMU, about the difficulty in basically, he said he was grateful that the high school signing period's already, over with, so they got that done. Now they can focus on the transfer portal. But basically, he was saying the same thing, which I kind of found fascinating. He's focused on the bowl. His assistants, half of them are working on one thing. The other of them are all up in the transfer portal, going to meet kids and doing the whole free agent pitch. And let me just tell you something. You look at, say, Marcus Freeman, who brought in Sam Hardiman, and now Riley Leonard, and bringing in different quarterbacks year in and year out. If Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame can do it, why can't Bill? Marcus Freeman came in basically as an unknown, took over a program, looked during the college football playoff, balling, and they're grabbing stud athletes. I don't know. I've come around completely. You got Bill Belichick, his assistant coaches, his son's coming over there, wants the job in the future. I think they have a whole lot they want to prove. And again, Malcolm Butler. Do you remember Malcolm Butler? Nobody wanted Malcolm Butler. My man was Super Bowl MVP. Should have been actually Super Bowl MVP. Should have gone to whoever called a passing play from the 1 yard line when you got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. But it worked out. I like it. Let me know what you think. Again, 901-360-825, Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. I also, again, did not know that this man, since he's been not coaching, I watch him on the Manning podcast on Monday night. Yeah. Now, I never watch, what was it? John Legend. I can't stand.
So you're just there for Bill, and then you go back to the regular
when
broadcast.
Bill and Eli and Peyton are talking football, it's a master's class. It is ridiculous. I still learn a ton from listening to Bill Belichick talk with Peyton and Eli Manning. Another thing that I was going to tell you, have you seen the, is it 3-on-1 or what's the NFL Network where they have Dan Orlovsky, a couple other dudes, and they do that 3-man breakdown?
I don't know.
No, it's called Cover 3, I think. It's very, very in-depth. They were talking every single week. It's called Cover 3. Now I remember. You got Dan, 2 other dudes, and they basically break down serious game film. One of the things they were breaking down yesterday that I was talking about was the 4x1. You got 4 receivers to one side. I mean, it could be a back. Could be 3 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 wide receivers on the left, and then you have your best wide receiver on the right, 4x1. And the way they abuse the field and move defenses with the quarterback's eyes and have everything roll back across. I mean, this is serious coaching on another level. I mean, this is like going from being a bachelor's degree to your doctorate. And Bill's going to be able to break down film like no other of these college teams, and he's going to go out there and abuse them because many college coaches, what do? They bring a playbook, they bring a style, and they are not malleable. Where Bill will bludgeon you to death with a run game if that's what's strong, and your defense can't stop the run. If your secondary's weak and you can throw, he's going to go over the top. Bill will beat you however he has to beat you, and I think that works in today's college football game. I love the hire. I'm late for a break because I've been talking about Bill Belichick like everybody in the world has. Again, yesterday I was like, not so fast, my friend. And now I'm like, give me some of that. I want me a little. Man, what color are they? Because I'm colorblind. Baby blue, Tar Heels?
Yeah, it's like a powder blue.
Powder blue. Speaking of powder, never mind. That's another story. We're going to take a quick time out. Back in two shakes. Isaac Simpson's on the other side. We got to talk Tigers. We got to talk Grizzlies. We got to talk about the NBA Cup. Back in two shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, or personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a home that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and the staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
There's no gift that's more beautiful and more personal than
high-energy, full-body workout
it utilizes the same equipment and technology employed by Floyd Mayweather.
to achieve his impressive 50-0 record.
The workout features 4 types of heavy bags, treadmills, rowers, battle ropes, weights, and much more. Visit Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, located at 2257 North Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Train like a champ. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness.
901-673-1267.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. NFL Week 15 kicks off with NFC West action. The LA Rams are coming off an epic win over the Bills and looking for a third straight W, while San Francisco hopes for back-to-back wins to help get back in the division race. Join us for all the action of the Rams and 49ers on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies they need. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a Thirsty Thursday up in this club. I love Thirsty Thursdays. Why? Because, again, for me, it's the official start of the weekend. Thursday Night Football, Thursday. It's like my Friday. So I'm fired up. Now, I'm also so fired up because I'm giving away two $25 gift certificates to the Owner's Box. Couple people text me in, and I'll tell you, I felt just like they did. One texter says, Bill Belichick will not work. Not going to work. It's going to be just like Tubby Smith. He was gone after 2 years. Nice text. We'll text you back. I need you to text me your name and send me I just need your name, first and last, and you'll get a $25 gift card to the Owner's Box. Second person who's going to get one sent me this. Bill will not work because he has no idea on how to manage the transfer portal. Bill Belichick's success stems from continuity of the same players year over year on the roster. The roster will flip year to year. And if you look at the recent years in New England, the talent level has significantly dropped. The game has passed him by. Disagree, but you did also win, and I do want to remind you, he is going to change college football, where I think a lot of college programs are going to start emulating what Bill Belichick. He went out there and he's already come out and said, from nutritionist, he's going to have a nutritionist. He's going to have a dope strength coach. And he's hiring former NFL general manager Michael Lombardi to be his director of football ops. They're going to get the NIL money. He's going to live in the transfer portal. He's not coaching. That's going to be his full-time job. And let me just tell you something. He's going to help get players in the NFL. That's going to be intriguing. And I don't know. I am now all on a little Bill Belichick, but I got to talk with my good buddy Isaac Simpson. We got to talk everything from Grizzlies to Tigers and more. But first and foremost, Isaac, what it do?
Man, what's going on, John?
Man, just kind of curious, Randy. What do you think about North Carolina, though, hiring Bill Belichick before we jump into the other things? Do you think it's going to work, or do you think it's going to be a terrible failure?
Man, I think we might be on different sides of this one, man. I don't love it. I hear you about the Michael Lombardi hire. Bill Belichick, nothing about him screams solid football coach. I guess if he's going to change the game and do something different, and maybe he finds a way to make that work, but I just don't see him wanting to deal with these college kids. It's just a different kind of mindset. Like you said, one of the guys that texted in talked about the continuity, and that is a great point. I mean, he's used to, because you see when things kind of changed in New England, they had started to go off the rails there. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he definitely has experience. I just don't see him being a guy at this point in his life that's going to want to deal with a lot of the stuff that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis at the college level. I don't know. And I said the same thing. Funny that you, when you guys said they likened it to Tubby, I kind of said the same thing. I said the same thing a few days ago on the timeline. It's similar to when Memphis hired Tubby Smith. Just, is he going to have the energy and just kind of the excitement to really want to put his all into this? That's the kind of question that I have. And we'll see. Maybe he does, but I'm kind of skeptical on it.
I was very skeptical on it yesterday. I'm very up and down like a roller coaster. Just kind of, changed my tune a little bit, thinking about how far in depth. And he did an interview with Seth Wickersham, and him talking about how they looked. He met it with all of his guys week in and week out from the whole entire season, been breaking down every single NFL game. And he kind of looked around the landscape. Somebody like the Bears are going to go with somebody that's going to be an offensive coordinator to get Caleb Williams. You look at some of the other Johnson jobs. Ben Johnson is going to be very, very popular for the Detroit Lions, the offensive coordinator. He can't stand Shad Khan. He does not like the New York Jets, and he does not like Woody Johnson. So I feel like maybe his step is basically saying, like, I ain't chasing history to pass the great Don Shula in the NFL, but I'm chasing victory and putting my name in, like, you know, I can coach anywhere from the 80s, 90s, all the way up into, you know, the 21st century. So we'll see. We got to sit back.
We'll see. Like I said, I mean, if he's really going to put his energy into it, maybe he can pull it off. But I don't know, man. When he gets in there, I think he might feel a little bit different about it than he feels today. But we'll see.
I do know Bill O'Brien, you know, who was with him. He's had a lot of guys that were on his staff go to the college game and find some decent success. So, you know, like, people can adjust, but the one thing is he is the most malleable coach that I know, because he will beat you. Like, again, so Bill Walsh is known for a playbook. You got Josh Heupel, who was originally just known for a playbook. You look at all these coaches out there. Remember Rich Rod? They come in there and they try to make the kids adjust to them. I feel like he's going to be better at adjusting to his talent and also scheming to beat the other team. I kind of dig it, but we're changing gears, brother. What the hell happened on Sunday?
Man, do we have to talk about that?
Do you know? I do have to tell you. First, I know you probably weren't listening on Monday, so I went to Billy Strings Friday and Saturday night and stayed at the Westin downtown right across from the Forum, because nobody should ever go to a Billy Strings concert and do anything other than walk. And Sunday morning, when I got back to the hotel from partying all night long around 8 o'clock in the morning, I ran into the Arkansas State basketball team on the elevator. And, you know, I can't help myself. I said, you know, talk to the guys. I'm like, what up, fellas? Y'all ready for the Tigers? They're like, yeah. I'm like, man, do me a favor. You don't have to hang your head after you get that L today. It's not going. It's no big deal.
Oh man, so we blaming you for this?
Yes. And the last thing I said, because the last thing that was said, this one guy goes, "I'm not leaving Memphis without a W." And I said, "Well, man, you better make it rain from 3." And boy, did they.
Yeah, they definitely did that, man. I mean, Memphis fell back into some bad habits, man. We seen this with Penny time and time again with that press and end up leaving guys open for 3, man. They just never made an adjustment. And then living dangerously, like letting teams fighting them points in the first half. Eventually, that was going to come back and bite them. I thought, especially after their point guard went down, I was like, okay, Memphis, they're going to walk them down in the second half. But they just never could get over that hump, man. Every time they get it down to 5, 6, 7 points, Arkansas State go down and hit a 3, and they're right back up double digits, man. It just never happened. That's tough, man, because we saw the same thing happen last year. Hopefully it doesn't continue the way it did last year. But right as they got ready to possibly get in the top 10, just like they probably would have been on Monday or somewhere near there, they take a loss like this, man. It is just tough to see because it kind of gives away a lot of the equity they had built up. Now, they have opportunities to make up for it. I mean, you got a big game coming up on Clemson. If you go over to South Carolina and knock off Clemson, I mean, that kind of negates that loss. But it's going to be tough. I mean, which team is going to show up? Is the team that we saw against Louisiana Tech and Arkansas State going to show up, or the team that we saw in Maui going to show up over these next these last few non-con games? And I think that's going to be the big question, because if they can go, I really think in order to fully make up for that, I really think they need to sweep these. Like I was good going in before this loss to Arkansas State. I said 3-1 and they'd be great, and you'd be fine now if you go 3-1. But if you want to really make up for that loss, they really need to win all of those games that they have left remaining in non-con. And it's going to be tough, man, to go into South Carolina. I mean, that team beat Kentucky. That's South Carolina. That's a really, really good basketball team. And the team that we saw in Maui can beat that team. But is that team still there, or is this kind of some deja vu of what we've seen from Penny's teams before? We saw last year play really well, get some good teams, and then just go off the rails, man, never were able to get it back. And hopefully this is not something that snowballs. I kind of wish the schedule was different, that maybe they were playing Ole Miss and Mississippi State at home instead of this Clemson game first, because the Clemson game is the toughest one they have remaining, and you don't want them to kind of lose 2 in a row and then just kind of let it snowball from there, because that can easily happen, and that's not what they want, man. But they got to pick themselves up, man. Got a big game. They got to have a much different mindset than they came in to Sunday with, and maybe different opponent, ranked number 16 opponent took your spot, actually, 16 ranked opponent. Maybe they'll be fired up for this one because they didn't get up in the Arkansas State game at all, and that was obvious on Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully 16 is an unlucky number because Memphis, after the loss to Arkansas State, fell out of the top 25, and Clemson moved up to 16. So I will say, though, that team that Ian Shefflin dude that we saw last year.
Yeah, he's a player, man. I started seeing him last year. He had a really good game against them even last year when they played him, and he stepped in. So he's hard to deal with, man. Got some size. He's tough. He's strong. I mean, he's going to be a problem for him. There's no question.
Dude, I think he grabbed like 25 boards against Kentucky or something, man.
Yeah,
dude's a
he's
rebounding
a beast,
machine, but he can't really jump all that high, but he just gets good body position, gets his big old butt on you, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, got like Zach Randolph. Getting jump over phone book, but somehow he just tracks that ball, man, is able to get rebounds. So that's going to be a question for those bigs, man. They got to try to stay out of foul trouble, too, man. And that's another thing about this team, and we've talked about this before, that depth scares me, man. Anytime they're playing against really good teams, they've been able to kind of circumvent it a little bit, but I mean, you got to pick up fouls, man. And the Musa thing, I love Musa and what he brings, but they try to force feed on the ball, man. He just does not have the hands, man. I mean, it's so many easy baskets that they could have, and they try to force it into him, man. It ends up being a turnover, and we've seen a lot of that, man. I think at this point, man, just stop throwing the ball down there. If he's not just catching it in the post, like, fine, but in transition, man, you can't throw the ball ahead to him because he's just not going to catch it. I think we kind of saw something similar to that last year with the Grizzlies at Bismack Biyombo. I mean, just for some reason, man, he just doesn't have the hands. He can't catch the ball. It's almost an automatic turnover every time they try to do that.
What do you think about the fact that they have such an early tip? Is that play into anything? I mean, do you feel like, man, a lot of people in the crowd might not be as raucous because they still drinking their coffee trying to wake up? Because that's a, 11 o'clock tip?
Yeah, 11 o'clock Eastern time. I think it's 10. I want to say 10 o'clock or 10:30 here.
Oh,
really
damn.
early. Yeah, I want to say it's 10 a.m. Yeah, man, really, really early tip. That's an interesting. I don't
saw
know,
that
man.
time. I was hoping it was Easter. 10 a.m.
Yeah,
man, I'm barely
no, it's
going.
like I think it's 10 a.m. Central time. Yeah, I don't think that really has any effect on the game. I mean, it's just going to be a tough game. I mean, they're going to have to play really well, probably their best game of the season, I think, in order to go down there and win. I think that game is probably even tougher than UConn and Michigan State. I think this is really, really a tough one. Because, I mean, that South Carolina Clemson team is really, really well equipped, man, and they play really well at home. That's going to be a tough environment. I think even with the early start, I think they're going to be fired up, those Clemson fans, and they really need to win this game, man, because again, if they could go down there and win this game, that really, I mean, it can just kind of completely erases that Arkansas State loss, but they put themselves in a position where now you need to go 3-1 at worst in these games. I think anything less than that, and then you're kind of putting yourself in a situation where you got to go in conference and win every game, and that's just not the situation you want to be in. We've seen that play out time and time again, man. They end up on this bubble, you're sweating it out. You want to go and be confident all season. We're NCAA tournament team. We don't have to necessarily go out and win every game, which they should, but we know from history that that's probably not going to be the case, even with a terrible AAC. They're going to end up dropping a game or two here and there, no matter what. So it's going to be interesting to see play out. I'm excited for it, but they have an opportunity. It's just going to be tough, man.
On the starting 12-14, going through 12-28, they got 4 good games, all ranked opponents other than Virginia. They're on the road against the 16th-ranked Clemson Tigers. You're on the road against Virginia. You got Mississippi State, who's currently at 25th, coming to the crib. And then you got Ole Miss, who's 19th, coming to the crib on the 28th. So by 3 o'clock, we're going to know if it's going to be the same old, kind of like last year, real good from the start, and then very, very poor finish. We'll definitely know before New Year's Day. My goodness. Come on, Penny. Please don't break everybody's heart and make me a crazy lunatic. I need this.
Yes. I was going to say, man, it's good to have those 2 Mississippi teams on the home floor, though. I really like that, man. You got 2 back-to-back ranked opponents on your home floor. That's not something that you usually get if you're outside of the power conferences. So that's a really good thing. But, again, man, this Clemson game is big, man. And then Virginia is a game where I think you going on the road, it's still an ACC opponent, even though they're not that good. That's still going to be a tough game. So, man, you don't want to drop this Clemson game, then go down there and drop Virginia. Then you look at that, like you said, man, we don't want to be back in the same situation because this felt different. I mean, you saw what happened out at Maui, and we all fired up, man, and you struggled with Louisiana Tech, but you ended up winning by 10, and then you dropped this game in Arkansas State. Now we're kind of leery again, man. It could just be the same thing, man. I hope not. Penny said it's different. That he said he has a different mindset. The team has a different mindset. So I guess we're going to find out.
We are going to find out, but everybody out there better know that if you love sports and great Mexican food, the place to go is Los Cabos right there at Summer and Graham. They got lunch specials every day from 10 to 3, happy hour every day from 3 to 8. They don't play no games. Los Cabos, Summer and Graham, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. Back in 2 Shakes, talking Grizzlies and NBA with Isaac Simpson right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, home guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guarantee lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections, appraisals, and free bar sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsInMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Georgetown Parkway behind Craigie's Barbecue in Cordova.
There's no better place in Memphis to catch up with your out-of-town friends than Bell Tavern, Memphis' best downtown neighborhood bar. This is the time of year when old friends and far-flung relatives swing into town for a few days, and you want to get together someplace quiet, someplace friendly, and someplace with ice-cold beer and signature cocktails you can't find anywhere else. And that, my friends, is Bell Tavern. Tucked into Barbaro Alley, Bell Tavern is tailor-made for being with people you haven't seen in a while, and you get to show off the fact that you know the greatest bar in Memphis, and they don't.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Because it's Christmas, Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has inventory they have to move because you know it's Christmas. So don't wait. You can complete your ultimate game room with a new pool table, a new shuffleboard, new arcade games, or just get all of them for Christmas. Tons and tons of theater seating, overstock, or a place to move. 'Tis the season for fire pits. And all fire pits at Family Leisure are now 20 to 30% off. You say you didn't get a spa this year? Let's say no more. Spas are in stock, ready for Christmas delivery, and up to $1,500 off. These are just a few of the deals happening right now for Christmas. Just come on by and check out their gigantic showroom. You never know what kind of deal you're going to find. Family Leisure. It's right at I-40 where family and fun come together for Christmas.
Family Leisure, 2120 Whitman Road in Memphis, right off I-40.
I'm Sean Sewer with XMC Technologies, your local source for the best in office technology for over 30 years. We believe that being a technology partner means meeting our clients' needs as they change over time. That's why I'm happy to share that we are now Visual Edge IT. As cyber attacks continue to be a growing threat, our customers are asking for more cybersecurity and ransomware protection. For more information on how to protect your office, visit us at visualedgeit.com or call us locally 901-737-8910.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Whitman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 kilowatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. We are talking hoops with my buddy Isaac Simpson. And don't forget, if you want a little love, go to Los Cabos. If you love sports, they got TVs everywhere. If you love Mexican food, and who doesn't? Oh, I love me some good Mexican food. They have the best. Summer near Graham, Los Cabos, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. All right, I got to be straight with y'all. I almost bit the tip of my tongue off yesterday, and I sound like I have a lisp. Blah, 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 blah. It's hard to talk with a hurt tongue. Man. So I'm going to let Isaac do all the talking. Do me a favor, my man. Tell me what's up with the Grizz.
Yeah, man. This 4 days off, whatever's been killing me, man. I'm ready to get back to some Grizzlies basketball, man. They'll be back on the home floor tomorrow night, taking on the Brooklyn Nets, which they owe them. They're 0-2 against them this season. So I was kind of glad when they added the 2 games in for them not making it out to Vegas for the NBA Cup. So I was kind of glad to see Brooklyn, man, because that gives them an opportunity to not get swept by them on the season, because that didn't sit right with me, man. That leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's not a team that you should get swept by, man, if you're a contending team. So they got an opportunity to kind of avenge that, at least get a win against them this season. I think they'll do that. Just right now, man, this team sitting second in the West, I think it's amazing. I mean, you just got to look at injuries they've had, and what they've had to deal with so far this season.
The fact they lost to the Nets twice was a reason for me to be freaked out.
Right now, you lost to the Nets twice. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But man, I think you got to feel good because this team is nowhere near hitting their stride yet. They don't have all their players back, and you're still sitting in the 2 seed in the West. So I think you have to feel pretty good about where they are. I mean, you got to try to get Big Zach Edey back. Hopefully, he's on the way back here pretty soon. Vince Williams Jr., Gigi. Still out. I mean, you've had Luke Kennard out with illness. They've had guys. This has been a revolving door, man, over the last couple of years, man. But this kind of reminds you a couple of years ago that even with the injuries, John's been out sometimes, they've still been able to find a way to win basketball games and find themselves 2 in the West, man. Second seed, playing some really good basketball right now. Hopefully, this break doesn't cause them to lose momentum because they're playing really well. Also, you got the Lakers added in. You got a game with them coming up on Sunday. We'll see what happens with LeBron. He's taking a leave of absence, and I mean he's so dramatic. I mean he's taking his leave of absence to kind of stoke the flames and play into this. Is he going to ask for a trade to Golden State stuff? That's what's going on with this. I mean he's the most dramatic person I've ever seen. Take nothing away from him on the basketball court, but he is definitely one for the drama, and that's what's going on with that situation for sure.
By the way, I already know how you feel about this because I've actually talked to you off the air. Is Luke Kennard somebody that the Grizzlies are going to need to retain and keep? Because they got a kid for the hustle, Cam Spencer, who looks like he could step in right now.
Cam.
What do you think? Give the people your opinion on Cam Spencer.
Yeah, as far as Luke Kennard, man, I didn't think they needed to re-sign him, even in revisit his history. I just think, I guess they had the money. They had $11 million. They gave him all the money they had under the cap left to try to bring him back in. But I think if you could move him at the deadline with that expiring contract, I definitely think I'll include him in a deal. I think that's something that you definitely got to look at. My guy Cam, he's like 24, 25 years old. I told people coming in that there was no reason to send him down to South Haven. Like, this kid is ready. Because I watched every UConn game last year because I was Donovan Clingan guy, so I was scouting him. So I got to see a lot of Cam as well. And I knew it was up when they drafted him. I was super excited. I was probably more excited about them getting him than even Edey or Wells, even though I was a Wells fan. I knew Cam was going to be a player. He's just super high IQ. He's just a winner. He can knock down shots. We saw the 50 points that he put up down in the G League, and super efficient. He thought 50 points he only missed 2 shots, I think, the entire game. And he hit 12 threes or something crazy. So he can really put points on the board. Again, man, a guy that can go out there and direct traffic, can play on the ball, play off the ball. He can shoot. He's just smart, just having another coach on the floor. So I think he needs minutes. This team, that's why I think it's almost destined that they make some kind of move at the deadline. Just looking at the roster construction, they got to consolidate. They just have too many guys that need minutes and guys that can play that they're going to have to. I think they need to consolidate 2 or 3 of these guys into one player to just kind of shorten their rotation, because what Taylor Jenkins is doing right now is working. But as you get into later in the season, into the playoffs, you can't be playing 10, 11 guys. It's just not how you're going to win, and that's kind of how they're winning right now. A lot of people talk about Cam Johnson from Brooklyn. That's the hot name out there right now. I think you add him to this team, and I mean, they're already killing it offensively. You add him, I mean, I think they're just going to be the outscore teams, and that's not something that we've said a lot here in Memphis. But this team is cooking offensively right now, and they're always good defensively on Taylor Jenkins. So I think they're one move away, man, from really, really being a team that you can really say, man, this team might be able to do something special this year. So I think it's time to push all the chips in. I've been saying that for 2 or 3 years now. A lot of people haven't got there, but I think at this point, everybody should be there, man. This team is not that far away. If they're healthy, you add one more piece to this team, man, they're going to be really, really scary as you get into April, May, and June.
My goodness. Hopefully the Grizzlies continue. I love this. I want them to have so much success, especially hopefully in the postseason. Grizzlies get back on that horse and drop Clemson. And, man, life will all be good when we come back to work next week. I can tell you that much. Isaac, tell everybody where you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah, man, you can find me on my regular X feed at Isaac_NBA. Definitely got some stuff coming down the pipe in the new year. So be on the lookout for that. And other than that, man, always enjoy jumping on Thursday, man, and we'll talk to you next week.
Isaac, be blessed, big homie. We'll do it again next Thursday. We are late for a break. I hope you know we're talking Ole Miss Rebels with Evie Van Pelt from the rebelwalk.com. Don't you dare touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Nothing says holiday fun like driving home in a new All-Star Chevy. It's the Red Tag event here in Olive Branch that could get you some big customer cash or financing as low as zero. How about a new Tahoe or Silverado? Maybe a new Blazer or Suburban. Together, let's drive into Christmas and the New Year in a new All-Star Chevrolet. Some will have special financing and no payments until spring, and your good credit deserves it. Olive Branch is where all the new Silverados and Tahoes are. New 24s and 25s. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare, military, education, recent grad, you get a $500 bonus. And every late model pre-owned you're looking for is here in one place. All the Silverados, all the Jeeps, Toyotas, Lexus, Ram trucks, Ford trucks, SUVs, and check out this Camaro ZL1. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. So don't miss this final holiday Red Tag sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com. Make this a magical Christmas with help from Genesis Diamonds. Step into a world of luxury and beauty. At Genesis, we have one running loop from simple diamond stud earrings to amazing Moroccan designer bracelets. And you can't miss our best ever selection of luxury premium awards, watches, gifts, and entire December. Genesis is making everything affordable with 5 years, 0 interest financing. Diamond increase by 60. And let your baby or showcases with exclusive diamond rings. Canvas gives you exclusive craftsmanship and lasting value. All exclusive designers are showcasing their latest creations, and our penetration experts will help you pick out your gifted shirt and tears to your amazing Christmas morning. So come see us at Genesis for the most romantic and memorable gift of the season. At holiday store hours, directions and finance details at genesisdiamonds.com. Genesis Diamonds, luxury premium Alexis. Popular Perkins Extended. See store for details.
Experience movies on the giant MXT screen featuring Dolby Atmos at the Malco Collierville Cinema Grill and Powerhouse Cinema Grill. Reserve your Malco Extreme theater seats today at malco.com or in the app.
56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, it's going to make you live.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 at 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Sorry I'm talking like I have a lisp today. It is hard to talk when your tongue hurts. But baby, I gotta blame it on Chaz, man. NBA Cup's going on last night. She fixes a beautiful meal, which I appreciated. I was gonna grab it, roll, sit right back in front of the TV, gamble. And she's like, let's sit at the table tonight. And you know I was trying to eat extra fast. Took a big old bite, didn't get my tongue back in, and almost bit the tip of that sucker off.
Sounds more like a you problem, John.
I did eat at the table with her. Like, I didn't say no, I'm not stupid. But I am ready to switch a little gears. Because it's time to talk on a Thirsty Thursday at 12 o'clock, always with the great Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk, your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. If you love the transfer portal and like thinking what's going on, they got the transfer portal tracker. And we're going to talk all things college football, basketball, and more with Evie Van Pelt. She joins me now. What's up, Evie? How are you doing today?
Hey there. Well, I started my day out with Ole Miss getting a great big commit in the form of Deshaun Womack from LSU, a big old defensive end that Ole Miss had made a priority. So that's what I woke up to, and really happy about that and happy to be here with y'all.
So was it the elf on the shelf that brought you this amazing gift?
Yeah, I don't know who brought it, but definitely, I am very grateful. I think we're going to see some portal pieces start to fall into place here before long. But man, knowing that we're losing Princely Umanmielen and Jared Ivey and Walter Nolan and J.J. Pegues, I tell you what, it feels really good to get a former 5-star defensive end in the boat.
Yes, it does. And I know Pete Golding is extremely happy as well because, again, that defensive front was probably the best in the entire nation this year. They definitely dominated the run. They got more sacks than anybody in their grandmother. So, yeah, the defense is also a big one. But I also saw where Lane Kiffin is going to have an opportunity, I think, between the 20th and the 21st to make a last-ditch effort to bring in another wide receiver. They did great when the high school signing day came through. They knocked it out the park. But there's a former 5-star that's coming to see Ole Miss. Tell me a little bit about Caleb Odom.
Yes, Ole Miss. This is a former 5-star from Georgia. Entered the transfer portal Monday. 6'5". 227 pounds. So
damn,
we like the
DK Metcalf.
Yes, we like the sound of that. The Rebels were really close to getting him the first go round, which is always funny, when we miss out on somebody. And now folks are kind of learning, well, wait till next year. We might see him in an Ole Miss uniform. So this would be a big one. He was actually a tight end in high school. He was rated the number 1 tight end in the entire 2024 class. He got to Alabama, and they kind of moved him, to wide receiver. So he's kind of a wide receiver, one of those hybrid wide receiver tight ends. He is taking a visit to Colorado this weekend, and man, Dion, they're doing some work there in the portal, getting some good visitors. So, and then he has a visit to Miami on the 17th. But as you mentioned, Ole Miss hopefully gets the last shot on December 20th and 21st.
So, is he more of a DK Metcalf-ish kind of wide receiver, or is he more of like my man down in Jacksonville and my
Evan
brain?
Ingram.
Thank you. I was like, man, how did my brain just blank that one?
Evan Ingram, yes. That's a good question. I mean, I think he could be either. I think whatever they need him in the system to be, I could definitely see him being a DK Metcalf, but also Evan Ingram, who he didn't take too kindly to his quarterback being hit a couple of weeks ago, did he?
No, he did not. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was funny. Super, super, super guy. I'm pretty good friends with his mom, and I love Evan to death. So that's why I happen to remember his name so easily. But,
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I talk all the time, but I just realized I may have killed too many brain cells at Billy Strings last weekend.
or you may have when you bit your tongue off. You
Oh, I
don't
know.
know.
God,
Yeah,
it
that is
hurts.
so painful. I know. That is awful. The only thing to watch with Odom is he was a high school teammate of Julian Lewis, who is a quarterback who had originally committed to USC. He'd been committed to USC, I want to say, since the fall of 2023, and recently flipped, I think the end of November, to Dion in Colorado. So he was a high school teammate of his, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. But Ole Miss has a little ace in the hole because the position coach that recruited Odom during his recruitment was none other than Joe Cox, who was at Alabama, left, and is now on staff at Ole Miss. So the Rebels got a little edge in there also.
I like that. And speaking of the staff, how many, what, you got 8, 9 of them landed on the coaches all-SEC team?
Yes, yes. And what I'm really proud of is Jackson Dart being named first team. And, I mean, to me, I think there had not been an Ole Miss quarterback named, if you can believe this, first team quarterback all-SEC since Eli Manning. So that has been a while, and it's hard to believe because we've had some phenomenal quarterbacks. But, yeah, I mean, you would expect, I guess, Dart, Walter Nolan, Princely Emonmielen, and Trey Amos were first team. Pooh Paul was second team. Now, get this, Trey Harris, third team? What? What? I mean, I realize he wasn't, he didn't get to play a lot, but that even speaks more to the fact that his stats in just a few games were more than, pretty much everybody. So I think that one they kind of missed on. But definitely, I mean, Dart, that was a big deal.
Now, Trey Harris, let me tell you, if he was healthy all season, he would have broken so many records it wouldn't even be funny. But before we look to the future, because the schedule's dropped for 2025, I want to focus on the Gator Bowl.
Okay.
How many of these young kids are going to opt out, enter the transfer portal? Are the seniors or the guys going in there? Like, are we going to see this Ole Miss team actually play, or is it going to be a bunch of young guys? Because they are, and this is kind of sad to say, they're playing Duke.
I know, they're playing Duke, and they're playing a Duke team that not only saw their first-string quarterback, Malik Murphy, enter the transfer portal. Duke finished 9-3, and he's out of there. But then they have their backup quarterback, Grayson Loftus, who also a couple of days later entered the transfer portal. So they are without their first and second-string quarterbacks. And it was interesting. We had a press conference Tuesday with Lane Kiffin and Manny Diaz, a Gator Bowl press conference. And Kiffin just, again, he calls them like he sees them. And he just said, this is the fact that Manny is going into this game with his first-string quarterback, because we didn't know about the second-string one there at that point, entering the portal. He said, it is a really dumb system that you can do that. He said, it's like if you had in the NFL, the AFC, championship, and, the week before that, you could leave. You could go to another team. So he just thinks that that's a really dumb system, and I agree with him. Now, in terms of opt-outs, the Rebels have so many players that will look to be NFL-bound, but top of the top right there, right off the bat, Jackson Dart says, I'm playing. I am in the Gator Bowl. I am playing. So Lane Kiffin said he didn't even blink, just said, yep, I'm going to be there. So it doesn't look like we're going to have very many opt-outs.
Man, that's huge. And now I'm scouring my BetMGM app currently to see what that line is, because I didn't know the first and second team quarterback were out for Duke. I already thought they killed Duke, but dead gum. That's 14.5. I'm laying it.
Yes. I think it opened at 11 or 11.5, and now we're at 14.5. So definitely, and I know we know Trey Washington has said he's going to play. Trey Amos has said he's going to play. Jared Ivey has said he's going to play. So, yes, there's still a few pieces that we don't know what they're going to do yet, but to me, again, I think a lot of that leadership starts at the top with Jackson Dart. And he said he just wants to, he wants to finish what he started. And he was a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, honoring scholar athletes. He was down to, I think there were maybe 16 finalists. The dude has a 3.71 grade point average in business and is graduating in May. So that's impressive to me that, he's done all that he's done and is on track to graduate with a very good GPA. My GPA was not that high, and I didn't play football. Anyway, so
I can believe it, though, because you know how much time I've spent down in the square partying like a rock star, and I never see him. So he's always back at the crib studying.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive to me. A lot of those guys are that way. So I think, to me, if Jackson had opted out, then I think you might have seen, more from some of those top guys. But Jared Ivey, saying he's going to play, that indicates to me that we will see a lot of him. I don't know if we'll see Walter Nolan. I mean, there's been talk either way. I can understand if he, these guys, maybe they don't want to get hurt. They want to start preparing for the combine, whatever. But as of right now, it looks like Ole Miss is going to have a pretty intact team. So that will be, Jordan Watkins, he said he's playing. So, I think it's going to be a fun, I'm thinking Rebels by 70 or something, in the Gator Bowl. So, I think it'll be a fun game for them, regardless of what's going on the other side of the row there with Duke. But, Duke, it's like Ole Miss and Duke are number 1 and 2 in the nation in sacks and tackles for loss. So that Duke defense is a legit defense.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it, but I just already laid the 14.5. I think that thing's gonna climb. I like what you said. Win by 70, so I don't even have to sweat it. Now, looking to the future, the 2025 schedule is already out. I'm already excited about it because I go to all the games because I love it.
Yes.
Now, we don't start with like the Furman this year. We do also. We got the Georgia State Panthers, but after that, the schedule gets legit.
What do you think about that? I like it that it's not those 4 sleepers in the beginning and then you got to kick it into gear. I like it this way. So it is, for folks who don't know, probably everybody does, but the SEC this year, you play the exact same SEC teams that you played last season. You just flip the location. So everybody we played on the road will play at home and vice versa. So we will, as you said, start off with Georgia State on August 30th and then immediately, boom, go into Kentucky, play at Kentucky. So
they better go to
like
Lexington next year and beat the brakes off them boys.
Oh, man, don't you know? Because that, as we all know, that is the game that everybody just looks at and goes, man, were it not but for that game, Ole Miss, we'd be playoff bound. But I tell you what, again, and you and I talked about it, I think, last week. I am impressed with the energy and the excitement and the commitment around the program right now because we talked about it, playoff or bust. And then bust came, And so what do you do after that? And I guess that's what's impressive to me is it looks like this coaching staff is working really, really hard. Gosh, they've got some visits, coming in of some of the top portal guys. I expect Ole Miss to do really well. Like you said, they signed a really good high school class. So it looks like to me they are reloading. And next year, that's a good schedule. That's going to be another fun year.
Now, the Ole Miss Rebels come to the crib here in Memphis, Tennessee. Tell me about Chris Beard and what them boys doing in basketball.
Well, they are heading to, we actually have a media op with him in just a little bit, so we'll post anything if there's anything we need to let folks know. But the men will travel to Biloxi this Saturday where they'll play Southern Miss. So that'll be a fun one, and we'll have somebody at that game. And then the women will play at home Sunday in the Pavilion against South Alabama. So basketball is about to get going here.
It is about to get going, and I will tell you, Chris Beard's getting it done. That was a big win against Louisville. Like, I mean, they've been handling the business. The only people that clipped them was that Purdue game, and it was by, what, 2 points?
Yeah, right there at the very end. Man, that was a heartbreaker. But yeah, that was and they goodness gracious, they just pounded, like you said, they pounded Louisville. So that was an interesting one, and that was fun to watch because Dre Davis, who was a top 100 recruit out of high school, had been with Louisville, spent 2 seasons with the Cardinals, played in 50 games, and ended up transferring to Ole Miss and led the team with a season best 20 points. So that was good to see.
And it's also a little bit wild when you look at the SEC right now. We all believe it's the best football conference in the world, but my goodness, you got Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. They all in the top 25.
They
and
are.
Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Can't forget them. It's interesting because I think we talked about it last week. Right now, in the net rankings, I think Auburn's number 1, Tennessee's number 2, Kentucky's number 5, Florida's number 7, Alabama 10. I mean, it's just crazy how that's going. So you're right. It is as solid in basketball as it is in football, isn't it?
It is. It really, really is. What's Coach Yo doing these days, man? Just chilling, beating people?
Yeah, she posted, her husband apparently really, really loves Christmas, and she posted, he did it. Kelly, her husband, apparently he just decorates. He goes all out. If you go on her Twitter and you find her tweet of the front of her house and her front yard, they are... I mean, the McPhee-McEwens have it going on there, so people should take a look at that. And, yeah, I mean, Coach Yo is just, I imagine getting her team ready for Sunday's game, and they're going to be good this season. And it's funny, she's talked about, they played last week, lost, and she talked about it. They got behind early by a huge amount. And she talked about after the game, basically saying don't count us out. What I love about her is she gets on social media and she will talk to people. She will talk to fans after a game. And, some people are, I'm disappointed with this, I'm disappointed with that. And she'll say, I'm disappointed too, but this is what we're doing to fix this. And, we've learned we can't, against the really, really good teams, we can't get behind so much early. Maybe against some of those cupcakes, as she calls them, you can, but not against the good people. And so that's what happened to them against NC State. I think they lost 68-61, and they had been down by, maybe even 20 points or more. And so she just talked about, what they learned from that. And then they came back and took it out on poor old Tennessee State and beat them 85-38. So that was, but anyway, what I really like about her is even like after the USC game, they played them in Paris, and there was not a way for media not there, and there was nobody on the Ole Miss beat who was in Paris, unfortunately. But she got on Twitter and did a Spaces, and I just think that's so cool. She is so accessible to folks and transparent about what she's doing. So just love her to death.
Everybody at Ole Miss is right now still a little bit burnt from not making the college football playoff. But everybody's still excited because they're looking towards the future. And we're talking with Evie Van Pelt. You know her as Ole Miss Evie on Twitter. She's the founder, publisher of therebelwalk.com, your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. You on the YouTube, on the Twitter, you're everywhere. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, they can find us at therebelwalk.com on the internet, and then they can find us on Twitter at The Rebel Walk, and me at Ole Miss Evie, and we're also on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Just search The Rebel Walk. And one thing I did want to add, you probably saw Walker Howard committed to Louisiana, Lafayette. So,
no, I did not. I missed that.
Yes, he committed Tuesday, I believe, and that was, interestingly, that was the first offer he ever got back when he was at the end of his freshman year of high school. So he's going home. That's where he's from. And we really, 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 really wish Walker all the best. Super, super guy.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful that Austin's still so far an Ole Miss Rebel. That little lefty's going to be great.
He is. He said if folks have a chance to listen to him talk, physically he looks like Tua Tagovailoa, and he talks, his voice sounds like him. And he said people have been calling him Baby Tua since he was in, 6th or 7th grade. So I'm like, man,
Baby Tua's grown up to be bigger than the original Tua, because he's grown up to be about, what, 6'4" now?
Yes, he's 6'4". So, he's Baby Tua is bigger than, or older Tua. I think, I'm not sure how tall he is. I think he's 6'1". Yeah, he's 6'1". So, yeah, Baby Tua is grown, but I thought, man, that's not a bad comparison, although his answer, and they do look a lot alike. He commented on that, but, he said, I don't pattern my game after anybody. I want to be, the Austin Simmons. So I thought that was cool.
I like that a whole lot. Now, I'm kind of curious. I know you and your husband, David Walker, who played quarterback at, Texas A&M back in the day, the youngest quarterback to ever start at Texas A&M. He also works with you over at the Rebel Walk. I know y'all have had to talk about Bill Belichick to North Carolina.
Oh.
I just got to get y'all's opinion.
Well, I just think it's funny. We talked about how North Carolina wanted to go with a younger coach than 73-year-old Mac Brown, so they
He's
went
1 year younger.
235 days younger Bill Belichick. And I'm sure you probably talked about it, but he sent a 400-page organizational Bible to NC and said, if you will, accept this and agree to follow this, then, I'll take the job. And so what do you do? If a guy gives you a 400-page, organizational Bible with structures and payments and all sorts of things in it, I think probably he's your guy.
I think so, too. And plus, he's bringing Mike Lombardi over, who's a former NFL GM, who's going to be focused on NIL and the transfer portal. He's bringing over a plethora of knowledge. Boy, that hurt my tongue to say.
Oh, I bet it
did. So he's bringing in all that, that knowledge. And I kind of thought about it like this. Who was it yesterday that said to me, he was like, dude, if Nikola Tesla wanted to be a science teacher, you cool with it? And I'm like, oh. Actually, yeah, I get that.
Exactly. So man, things are going to get interesting over there. I just, it's just funny to me that they got somebody 235 days younger.
That's hilarious. We're skewing young. They didn't go. Now, the one thing that does give me a pause for cause, I just hope that whoever's the quarterback at North Carolina or the stud 5-star, don't hit on his young girlfriend. She's only 24. She's closer to your age than his, but do not do that. That's a no-no.
That's a no-no. And I saw a funny little meme that said, anybody out there doubting Belichick's ability to recruit, here you go. And it was a picture of him and his very pretty 24-year-old girlfriend.
That was good.
He didn't have any problem recruiting her.
That is so good, Evie. You give me so many great nuggets every single Thursday. I appreciate you so much, and the work y'all do over at therebelwalk.com is second to none. Keep up the good work. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll talk again next Thursday, dear. I lost Evie at the perfect time.
It was a perfect time.
Perfect time, like right when I'm ending it. Speaking of ending it, if you are hungry and you want to end your hunger, go to Los Cabos, baby. They got lunch specials till 3 o'clock, 10 to 3. We're doing about $7 to $11 lunch specials. Happy hour, 3 to 8. Premium tequila shots. TVs all around the bar, and they always got the games on. And it's the one I frequent is the one right there at Summer and Graham. It's awesome. Los Cabos, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. Right now, I could do eat nothing that actually is spicy or hot. In fact, what am I going to do with my tongue? They got anything that just numbs it? Will people come and just give me a shot?
Maybe.
I hope so.
That might not be good for the tongue, though.
What?
Is it like do you have like a cut on the tongue?
Man, didn't I show you? Like the tip of my tongue is missing.
Right. Yeah. So if it's like a cut, then I don't think a shot would. It'd probably sting.
Well, if they'll make it completely numb like they do your gums, you know what I'm talking about? That
Maybe.
needle scares the bejeebies out of me. I won't let that needle come near me without nitrous. But anyway, we got to take a quick time out because we got to talk about some funny stories around the country. Hardwood is next on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
High energy, full body workout that utilizes the same equipment and technology employed by Floyd Mayweather to achieve his impressive 50-0 record. The workout features 4 types of heavy bags, treadmills, rows, battle ropes, weights, and much more. Visit Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, located at 2257 North Germantown Parkway in Cordova. Train like a champ. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness. 901-673-1267.
It's the Herd. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Will LA repeat? We'll find out soon. Rim-rattling slams, no-look passes. Get behind your favorite players. And the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. It's fun. If you're ready to place your first bet, try something simple, like picking a team to win. All you do is go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, 90 seconds. Download it. Make your pick. First time? Here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5, just $5, to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download their app. The code is HERD, H-E-R-D, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets betting just $5 if you win. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Grizz Nation, you feeling lucky? Win big with Grizzlies spin-to-win ticket deals to secure your seats when the team takes on the Brooklyn Nets this Friday, December 13th. With one spin, you can unlock 4 seats, free tickets, or an exclusive ticket deal to the game. You heard that right. Your chance to win 4 seats, free tickets, or unlock exclusive ticket savings for this Friday's game versus the Brooklyn Nets. Head over to grizzlies.com/win to test your luck.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a thirsty Thursday, and you know when I'm thirsty, you know what I drink, don't you?
Tito's.
Nailed it. I'm simple, by the way. You know how I like to drink my Tito's? With water. Why? Hydrate while you drink. And if you get too many sugars in you, I don't know if this is true, but a smart guy told me, like Fireball, you know that stuff? The reason you have such a terrible hangover is there's so much sugar in it. The sugar is what gives you the damn hangover, not the booze. Don't you dare blame booze for your hangover. Just drink it with water, and I promise you're good to go. I just did 72 hours, and I made it to work on Monday, didn't I?
You did.
Thank you so much, Tito's.
Slightly limping, but you did make it.
If life hands you lemons, you don't freak out, you don't fret, you don't stress. You just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with the best, and that's Tito's handmade vodka. And again, it's USA vodka, baby. Ain't no commie vodka up in this crib. Plus, it's 100% gluten-free. Grab yourself a Tito's today. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Speaking of Tito's, like, this is no disrespect to Tito's or any alcohol, but do you know it's legal pretty much everywhere to go get a drink? Like in Europe, you don't even got to be 21. You just got to be able to walk, right?
In some places, yes.
You just walk up in that joint, you're like 4 years old, you're like, give me a big old Tito's. But that's Europe. Now, do you know who Elton John is?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Absolutely.
Great singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great singer. Did you know he had a hell of a drug problem?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
I mean, it was massive.
Yeah, look at his outfits.
Like he did, that's a good point. But he's not tripping on LSD or high on cocaine or high on weed or high on anything anymore. He's not on downers.
Just high on life.
He's just high on, he you know what he does? He smells his money.
Well, that would also make me high.
Oh, man, that is, do you smell all that money I make? Yeah. But Elton John came out and said, this is, I think, hilarious. Hilarious. He was talking about how Canada, did you know all of Canada is legalized weed?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So they got one thing right. Do you think they'd be a good 51st state, by the way?
No.
Governor Trudeau? I don't either. We don't want you. Please, keep your poontang. Wait, I think it's what is it? Poutine.
Yeah, poutine.
Poutine.
Jeez.
That is my tongue, bro. That
I
wasn't my fault.
don't know.
Anyway, keep that Canada. But Elton John, back to the Rocky Man. Oh God, I meant poutine. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to come back from this one. But Elton John came out and made a very, 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 very crazy statement. He said, legal weed is the greatest mistake in human history. And I don't know if you know how many mistakes we've made in human history. Like, we've had a World War I and a II. There was the stock market crash, the Great Depression, the Tuskegee experiments. Oh, don't forget, we remember when slavery back in the day, I think that's a lot worse than legal weed, homie.
Yeah.
But he said, I maintain this is the biggest mistake because it's addictive. It leads to other drugs. And when you're stoned, and I've been stoned, you don't think normally. Legalizing marijuana in America and Canada is one of the greatest mistakes of all time. Damn, Elton. You got a liquor company I don't know about? Or are you just mad because you didn't get in the legal weed game? How in the hell is that the biggest mistake of all time? He says you make terrible decisions on drugs. And he says, I want to love it so bad, but I became a hostage. What? I don't know if you know this. I know a guy that smokes weed every day, and he never misses work. He's really kind and compassionate. He's a damn good-looking dude, too. Smart as a whip, or at least pretends to be. So I don't see that as the biggest mistake in human history. That's crazy.
John, I have maybe one of the biggest mistakes in human history. You ready for it?
What is it? You getting married?
No. Oh, not yet, at least. A Wisconsin man has been arrested for faking his death.
Man, he was trying to get out. He didn't want to get divorced because he didn't want to give his wife half. Faked his death, and before he faked his death, he emptied all the bank accounts and acted like he got murdered.
Well, I don't know. This is interesting. So he went out to Green Lake, which is one of Wisconsin's deepest inland lakes, and planned his own drowning. And so when he didn't return home, his wife called the police, obviously, and they searched for his body, where at the lake they found a capsized kayak and a tackle box that had his wallet, his keys, some other stuff in it. And so they were like, they ruled him, he died. We found his stuff. He must have drowned. He's in the lake somewhere. God rest his soul. Well, later they found out that he, after doing that, he staged it, fled to Canada, and then somehow while in Canada got on a plane and went to Europe and had wired like $5,000 to a woman in Uzbekistan to like have for him when he got over there. He also had a life insurance, or had gotten a life insurance policy a couple months before for $375,000 life insurance policy to try to leave his family something behind. Faked his own death.
That's pretty nice. At least he wasn't going to leave her high and dry.
It's great, but the police found out. They got in contact with this woman. We're like, hey, where is this guy? We know he's not dead. We know he faked his death. So he came back to the States.
How did they know he faked his death?
I have no clue. They found some sort of evidence. I think they got in contact with his dad. Maybe his dad knew and was like, well,
I just talked to him the other day.
Yeah, maybe started lying. Maybe they caught something and they're like, this guy isn't dead. Somehow they found out he was still alive. So he came back. John, he came back to the United States on his own and turned himself in to the police. And they said when he was in front of the judge for his bond that he said he only has $50 to his name now. So I don't know what happened to that $5,000 that he wired over to Uzbekistan, but
I can tell you
he
what
doesn't
happened.
have it anymore.
Have
it
you
seems
ever
like his
been to
family
an
left him.
Uzbekistan brothel?
I've not.
I didn't think so,
I've
homie.
not. That's correct.
Money goes quick.
Here's the question, John. If you were to fake your own death and flee the country, what country would you flee to?
What
Italy's
country?
my answer.
Spain is dope. Spain's got hotties.
But it's got to be low-key, John. It can't be a tourist destination. It's got to be somewhere low-key where you blend in. And I think, parts of Italy very touristy. Other parts very, not touristy. So I would go to those parts of Italy.
Actually, I saw a picture today, and I was like, where's this? And dude told me that's like, oh, this is a little-known place, the dopest little country on the planet. Nobody knows about it. Beautiful women, beautiful food, wonderful weather.
Now, you don't know the name of the
country. And I can't remember the name of it. It's one of those little ones, but I'd go somewhere. I'd go somewhere where there was legal weed, hotties, and
you go to Australia, but in Australia they have snakes.
Dude, they got too many things that can kill you.
Yeah, they have snakes in Australia that will sit on top of a hill.
Will punch you in the face.
Listen to this, John. They have snakes in Australia that will sit up on a hill, and if you're at the bottom of the hill and you're walking by, they'll see you. They will turn themselves into they'll start rolling down the hill to where their body forms a wheel almost, and then once they get down, they'll
a ball.
They'll jump out and
bite
attack
your face off.
Yeah, and they're very, very deadly.
Yeah, I'm Gucci on not going to Australia, but I don't know. By the way, somebody also texted us, my man who's a #1 Vols fan in the whole wide world. He says, man, Elton John don't like weed. You know the song, I'm gonna be high as a kite.
Well, I don't know.
My
That's how it
friend.
goes.
He's talking about getting high as all get out.
He does have a song where it talks about getting high.
Getting high as a kite.
That's right.
Can't get high without a little weed, man.
That's a good point.
Man. I have a new favorite coach in basketball.
Pat Kelsey. I know where you're already talking
How'd you
about,
know
because I saw it and I was going to bring it to talk about today. I love Pat Kelsey. He was fantastic at Charleston. Now has the job at Louisville. Injury riddled this year, so I don't know how good they're going to be. Started the year really well. Really good coach. Really talented.
Pat Kelsey is my new favorite pimp. Let me just tell you something. This dude was asked about the struggles this year and how demanding their schedule was and how do you mentally refocus and get through the day. Oh my goodness, it's so hard to have your job. and he came out and pulled a PIMP move. My man came out and said, like, he just kind of shook his head, and he's like, I mean, he goes, I get a bunch of free sneakers. I get to wear, you know, a sweatsuit to work. And then he pulled a Ricky Bobby where he dropped out, I have great kids and my wife is hot.
Yep.
That's something that Ricky Bobby would do. Shout out to your hot wife, my friend. And I also liked his take on life. He's like, man, like, he doesn't go to work. He gets to go to work. He enjoys getting up every day and going to do his job. I really, really like this guy. Louisville, man, they're going to have something going. You know, the Yum Center is going to be banging soon.
Yeah, no, he's a really good coach. Like I said, injuries this year. They got 2 guys that are out for the season with injuries, so might be tough this year. But man, let him get his guys in there, and yeah, he's gonna be a really good coach.
It's gonna be a smoke show. And by the way, could you imagine going fishing? And you're reeling in this fish, and you're like, damn, this sucker, man, I got a big one. Like, have you ever seen people marlin fishing?
Yeah.
Like, man, like, it takes hours. It takes multiple men. It's like...
Marlin, they got the sharp noses, right? They got the...
Marlins have that looks like a sword.
Yeah.
They got that dope fin that goes way out.
Have you seen the video where a guy was fishing and got a marlin, and it stabbed him in his calf, and he had to go to the hospital? Yeah.
I just spent $5,000 going marlin fishing, and I got stabbed in the chest.
Now I'm gonna spend another $5,000 at the hospital.
Well, this homie went out there and caught a 10-foot great white shark down in Florida.
Oh wow!
I thought they were like in Australia, or like, I don't know.
Great white sharks? They're everywhere. I mean,
I know Jaws was made here in the States, but it's a movie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know much about great whites except for during Shark Week, and they got big teeth, and they bite a lot of people and do all kinds of crazy ish.
Great white sharks can be found in many coastal and offshore waters around the world, including the United States, the Northeast, and California, and in Florida. It does say Florida.
That's pretty good.
How about that?
Now, what are you going to be having for Christmas dinner? Ham, turkey, dressing. Do you do like the Thanksgiving thing for Christmas as well?
Yeah.
Well, do you know Xavier Legette, the one who dropped the touchdown pass and saved that man's money who bet $3.3 million on the Eagles to win? Did you hear what Xavier likes to eat on Thanksgiving?
Who knows? That guy. No telling.
Well, one of my favorite things is not poutine. I got it right this time. But he likes to eat raccoon.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but I couldn't remember.
Raccoon?
I've heard it's not bad, John. I've never tried it. I've had raccoons in my house. Didn't try to fry one up, but...
Man, he says I kill it, I skin them, I cook them, and then I eat them all. Gross. They eat out of trash cans. Now, I will say, I knew a lady, very sweet lady, Sandra, rest in peace. They called her the raccoon lady because she, like, every time somebody would bring the raccoon to the animal shelter, they'd take her to her house, and she had raccoons everywhere, and they were sweet as could be. I couldn't imagine eating a pet, and now I think of raccoons as a pet or a pest because they're knocking over my trash can, but... Like, I'm not eating... Like, do people still eat rabbits and squirrels like they did back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Raccoon meat tastes similar to dark meat chicken or turkey, but is more tender and greasier. Some say it tastes like a cross between goose, never had goose.
Never had a goose either.
And venison. While others...
Which is deer?
Yeah, I've never had venison either. And while others say it tastes like a pork burger. So, a little bit of everything.
Man, maybe I need to switch up and... get a little raccoon going in my life.
But it also says handle it with care because raccoons can carry a lot of diseases.
Oh! You know, I'm like, nuh-uh, I'm good on that. I'm also good on this segment because I got to give you a bet. Who we betting on? Who we betting on? I think it's pretty simple. I'm going to tell you on the other side. But again, don't forget that this has always been brought to you by the bestest of Thirsty Thursdays. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Gambling on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56.com.
WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Witten Road.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wallow said hello.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Man, the day went by so fast, I didn't even get to tell everybody how stupid Steph Curry is for shooting that ball with 7 seconds left, up by 1, and losing to Houston. But thank you so much for shooting it, and thank you to the refs for calling a foul on a scrum and giving us 2 free throws so Houston could win, because I had them on the money line, and I was looking really bad. They were down like 7 with a minute left. Came back, took that jaunt. Thank you. But tonight we're gambling as well. But I wanted to remind you, while you win your money tonight and you go out there and you do a little Christmas shopping, don't forget to help out your property. If you want to make your property more secure, you also want to make it aesthetically appealing, go to myautomaticgates.com. I did a year and a half ago, and I love my gate. They do the maintenance, they do the repairs, they put everything in. All you got to do is push the button. It's beautiful. MyAutomaticGates.com. Check them out. Now, tonight, you got some people out there like the quote sharps who are like, man, this is a desperate 49ers team. This 49ers team, let me just tell you something. They have to win out if they have a chance. They got no easy games. Rams, Dolphins, Lions, Cardinals. They're all must wins. And did you see what they did to the Bears last week? 309 yards in the first half to 4. But it's the Bears, bro. I don't believe in anything. I know what the Rams got, and I also know what the 49ers don't have. Do you know what the 49ers don't have?
Running backs.
Or anybody at all, basically, on defense. Their whole defense is just gone. Listen to this. No left tackle, Trent Williams. He's out. Malik Mustafa out. You also have Nick Bosa out. And then they're going to, Dre Greenlaw has an issue. Man, they got too many questions. So that means I'm taking the Rams. And then I'm going to take my money and go to Frontier Western Store and get all my Christmas shopping done. Frontier Western Store at 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch and online at frontierwesternstore.com. That's my time. Peace.
The holidays are almost here again, and whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's, I have sold